Welcome, everyone. My name is Rachel Garcia. I'm super excited to be sharing with you tonight some information that was absolutely life-changing for my family when we first found out about this 15 years ago. And so I was first invited to look at Pure in 2008. So 15 years ago, this is not a company that came and went or just started yesterday. They have been a solid, ever increasing company since 2008. At the time, I was working full-time as a physician assistant, practicing medicine. And I had just invested in not one, but two separate companies, in addition to seeing patients full-time as a PA. I'd read the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, and I knew that if I ever wanted time freedom, money that came in while I was doing other things, I would have to start additional businesses. And at that point, we had no businesses. So we opened a skincare retail store in Ponte Vedra Beach. My husband opened a construction company. We did both of these things in addition to our full-time jobs. And I had two babies under the age of 3. So life was crazy. And my brother called me and said, I've got this business I want you to take a look at. At that point in my life, I said, I'm overwhelmed. I can't even think of doing another business. I'm not interested. And he said, well, we want your opinion on the health side of this. And that's what really caught my attention. You see, my nephew had just been diagnosed with severe autism. So I had just sat with my sister here in Jacksonville, Florida, as the pediatrician told her, your son will never speak. He will never have more than the mind of a 3-year-old. And I had a lot of questions about that. I have a master's degree in clinical medical sciences. So I began to do an extensive amount of research. I was reading books like the China Study and beginning to understand the extreme importance of plant-based nutrition. So I had really just dived in with that. I had a juicer, we had an organic garden. I was spending hundreds of dollars a month at the health food store. The trip out to the health food store all by itself was just time I did not have. And so when my brothers asked me to watch this presentation, and I immediately said no, they said, you can say no, just give me an educated no. And that made sense to me. So I agreed to watch, and within minutes, I recognized they were speaking truth about nutrition. And there weren't a lot of companies in 2008 that were doing that. And so I'm excited to be sharing with you tonight information about this company. Our lives were radically changed within a week. I saw the presentation. I saw a way for me to stop driving to the health food store and throw the juicer in the trash can. And I said, I'm in. I was going to simplify my nutrition regimen. And what they offered was better than what I was buying anyways. Well, 2 days in, my insomnia issues were gone. 3 days in, my son's constipation issues were gone. 6 weeks in, my husband's extreme depression and anger issues were gone. And 3 months in, my nephew started speaking. And that was the moment when I said, whoa, this is like life-changing stuff. What is this? Spent a couple of months doing extensive research, and I came to the conclusion that everybody needs to know about this. And I've been doing my very, very best to share it for 15 years. Some of you know me personally. Some of you know my family members personally. Some of you are here because I told someone who told someone who told someone who told you. Okay, whether you live in Alaska or Washington State, or you live in Jacksonville, Florida, everybody needs this information because we only have one house. Your soul lives in this body for your entire life, and you do not get to replace it. So I'm going to share with you information that I hope, I know if it's for you, you'll see it. If it's not for you, it's not for you. But it lent, like my brothers told me, if it's not for you, give us an educated no. The name of the company is Pure. It started in 2008. It's a 15-year-old company. It's totally debt-free, and yet less than 60,000 people in the United States know that we exist. We're huge in Korea. We're huge in Thailand. But here, the word is just now starting to get out, and people are becoming more aware of the importance of taking care of their health in the last 24 months. Some groups of people are attracted to the health. That was totally me, although my brothers thought I would be attracted to the income side. Once I recognized the need for this nutrition in every single household across America, I began to share it, and the checks began to come in. And the checks were mind-blowing to me because I was spending 3 hours every day when I finished seeing patients in the clinic, in the skincare store. And these checks were surpassing that. And I was spending about 30 minutes a day inviting people to take a look at presentations and videos just like this. So I joined for the simplicity and the ease of good nutrition. I'm still here today because of the very real results. But I have a very real question for you. We all know that money is important. Okay, it's not the most important thing, but it does rank right up there with oxygen. And multiple streams of income are just wise. Okay, some of you might be making great money like I was in 2008, but I was handcuffed to my job. My children called our nanny mom, and it was killing me. And I thought, how am I one day going to have time freedom? I didn't need financial freedom. I needed time freedom. And for me to get the time freedom, I needed additional income to replace what I made working 14-hour work days in the medical office. Okay. So if someone came to you in the year 2000 and said, hey, we've got this company, it's called Amazon. It's going to be huge in the future. Everyone's going to buy thing from Amazon. They're going to buy their diapers. They're going to buy their Christmas gifts, friends. They're going to buy their groceries on Amazon. We are looking for brand partners. We're looking for people to partner with us to spread the message of Amazon, and anybody who joins us and then has someone join as their brand partner with them, we're going to give you 10 to 50% of what all your brand partners purchase for the rest of their lives. And if they tell anybody, you're going to get a percentage of those sales as well. Sounds like a pretty sweet gig, right? Would you have seen it? Because yes, everyone is buying their groceries now on Amazon. Not everyone, but a lot of people. A lot of people are buying their Christmas gifts totally on Amazon. That is what I believe Pure is, guys. I believe that 20 years in the future, the majority of American households will have a membership to Pure. Why? Because our products are the best that I have found on the marketplace. And that is why we have nutritionists, dietitian, medical doctors joining us weekly because of what we have. How are we different? You know, my cousin sells this, so-and-so sells that, so-and-so sells that. Well, how is this different? One, you're going to put on your business hat and you're going to get invested in a business. You need to make sure it's for 100% of the demographic, not just for the women who want to put expensive skincare on their face, not just for the runners or the pet owners, everyone. What we have is for everybody with a body. At some point or another, everyone recognizes that how you treat this number one asset that you have that you cannot replace matters. And they go looking at some point or another. It's even for the dogs and the cats. It's a consumable product. You don't want to be selling or offering a service that's a one-time buy. Okay, this is just business, guys. Cutco knives, vacuum cleaners, water purifiers, one-time purchases. That's not a good business model. You want something that people will repeat purchase over and over and over again, thus the passive income, okay? And so that is what we have here. We offer a 30-day satisfaction guarantee. And what we found is that when someone starts with our starter package, 93 out of 100 people repeat purchase without us calling and saying, hey, you're almost out of your stuff. Do you need more? No, what happens is they feel amazing and then they run out and then they freak out and they go knocking on your door saying, I'm out, I need more. 93 out of 100 decide to repeat purchase on their own. Now, this business model is recognized by some of the most brilliant minds of our time as the best business model on the planet for people to create an additional residual stream of income, a passive income stream with. Okay, there's not many people who can create a passive income stream, you guys. We've got the actors who do it with royalties. Every time we watch their movies, you've got the singers. You've got people who invest in real estate. They need big money to put that money into the real estate. And then just so you know, because I have some real estate, it's not really passive. Somebody stayed at our Airbnb last night. It's got gum all over the side table. So it's not really passive. We still have to manage those things. This is passive. You got to do work at the beginning. Okay. But in the end, is there something that if you spend 30 minutes a day on 5 days a week, now it will pay you weekly checks for decades to come. See, I could shut my computer, put my phone down, move to France tomorrow, take my husband and my kids, and not look at Pure for a year. And I'd make more in 2023 than I did in 2022 because of what I've done for 15 years. But can't stop. We have so many lives to change and so much hope to give. So Richard Branson and Tony Robbins both say you should all have a small business on the side for the tax benefits. And two, the small investment up front is what Tony Robbins loves. Small investment, small overhead. The investment for me to get started here, not only did I eat my investment, which is weird to a business person, but it was less than it cost me to keep my skincare store open on a monthly basis. That was thousands of dollars, the rent, the light bill, the employees' paychecks, the shipping, all the stuff that goes with that brick and mortar location. It was less than that to get started here. So I didn't think it was a real business. It was my CPA a couple months later who saw the charge. He went, I think we can write that off. I was like, oh no, it's just a bunch of food I bought. He said, but let me see the paperwork. And he came back and said, I think this is the best business you ever started for the goal you have, which is financial and time freedom. See, I started those two businesses in 2008 because of the book I read, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. If you haven't read it and you're currently an employee trading your hours for dollars, please read this book. And you can imagine my surprise when he came out in 2010 with the book, The Business of the 21st Century. And it was this business model. I'd stumbled into this business thinking I was doing my brothers a favor. Holy moly. Here we are 15 years later. I make more than 5 times what I used to make as a PA. And I do this very part-time, very part-time. Anything is possible. I'm going to teach you how you can leverage your time by putting a little bit of time in, 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week. I and others work for you. See, right now, whoever invited you, they're not speaking. I am speaking. I am working for them. I will stay on afterwards and answer your questions. Do you have anyone working for you right now that you're not paying? All you do is purchase your health, your family's health. And all of a sudden, you will put 30 minutes a day of training to start plugging people in to take a look. See, I was attracted to how it started. In the clinical practice for 30 years, they used this message of cleanse, balance, and build. The results were so good, there was a 3-year waiting list for people to get in. There weren't enough practitioners to see all the patients who wanted to get on the system. And they said, we're going to start a company. But instead of hiring a marketing firm, paying for radio ads and billboards and commercials, because who listens to that stuff in regards to nutrition anyways, we're just going to pay the people who already love us and are talking about us. We're going to pay referral fees. We're going to pay commission fees. And I'm so glad they did, because if I'd walked into Whole Foods and seen this, what we offer here sitting on the shelf amongst 187 other pediatric vitamins or adult vitamins, I wouldn't have picked it out. I'm here because my brothers asked me to take a look at a presentation, and I listened and I recognized truth. See, I now understand that after 20 years of practicing medicine as a PA and 15 years of sharing this message of truth from Pure, that the majority of the health issues we face are the result of these 3 things. We're toxic. We're drinking out of plastic water bottles. We're eating foods that have been sprayed by guys in hazmat suits with fungicides, pesticides, herbicides, weed killers, and we're eating it. And studies have shown that the microparticles of plastic in our bloodstream have been climbing over the last decade, along with the cancer rate. We're truly being poisoned. We're out of balance. We don't eat enough plant-based nutrition. We eat too much sugar. We stare at our phones too much. We're sitting too much. Sitting is the new smoking. We don't get enough sleep. But I really like to talk about what this book talks about, which is the largest human population study ever done, that we consume more acidic foods than we do alkaline foods. And when you consume more acidic foods like meat, dairy, sugar, soda, coffee, and bread, your body is in an acidic state where disease and infection thrive. Are you putting more plants in your body than you do those other things? Probably not, but I'm going to show you how you can do it in 30 seconds in the morning. We are severely undernourished. Even if you try to get it from your food, you cannot. Educated people know this, so you're already supplementing, and you have a cabinet that looks like this, right? I have a dental friend who was struggling with some autoimmune disease and literally had a cabinet that was twice this size, because she'd read this book. She'd read the book, The Truth About Cancer, that I have here as well. And she'd done all of her own research. And then she heard about Pure and she watched this and started diving in and came back 3 days later, said, give me the family pack. And then a week later, she bought 3 family packs. Why? Because she said, Rachel, this is everything I've been learning, all in one location, all in one place. And I can tell when I take it. See, most people are supplementing and they cannot tell when they take it, and they can't tell when they don't. So what's in your genetic pipeline? What are your parents struggling with right now? Cholesterol, blood pressure, dementia, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, diabetes. What is it? What are they struggling with? It's coming down the pipeline towards you faster than it hit them because of the poisons, the lack of food, lack of nutrition in our food, and the toxicity in the air. It's going to hit our kids faster unless you do something. And I'm handing you on a platter the answer to putting more nutrition in your body in 30 seconds in the morning than your whole neighborhood probably gets in a week. Okay. And you can't just eat, you can't eat your way to health, guys. All right. The studies have been showing for over a decade now. This is common knowledge. Over 12 years ago, they did a study showing you have to eat 8 oranges, 80 cups of spinach, 99 ears of corn, and 2 cups of wheat to get the same nutrition that our grandparents got from one of each of those things. Okay. You cannot eat your way to health. We have to be supplementing. And so this answer of cleanse, balance, and build is what I recognized as truth. We have to cleanse the 7 channels that we eliminate through. Did you know we have 7 eliminatory channels? Your lungs, your liver, your skin, your lymphatic system, kidneys, blood, and intestines all have the job to eliminate. Okay, but they're getting up, guys, with sludge from all the stuff we're putting on our skin, all the sunscreen, all the stuff we've been putting on. Our children, since they were babies, our organs are getting backed up. They can only do so much. We've got to balance out the pH and pour the plant-based nutrition in. Okay, listen, I want you to think of it as a servicing, right? You take your car in for a servicing every 10,000 miles. If you don't, the lights are going off. You won't make it 200,000 miles if you don't service it. Okay, most of us spend more money yearly on our phones, our houses that we live in. We live in multiple houses throughout our adult lives. We can replace these suckers at any time. Our cars, we spend more money on. We have multiple cars throughout our adult life. You have one of these. And some people are like, well, I just went to the doctor. I just got service last week at the doctor. Oh yeah? Okay, what'd they do? They did some scans on you. They checked your blood work and they sent you home with some prescriptions. That was your servicing? Now, that's a Band-Aid, guys. We have to cleanse, balance, and build. Why do we have multiple medical doctors joining us weekly? Just put the pieces together, guys. Why? Because they learned what I've learned, which is why I walked away from practicing medicine in December of 2019 and found a better way to help people. Prevention is better than prescription. Many of our products are in the physician's desk reference, and I'm going to talk to you tonight about the starter package, as well as a few other things. We have over 50 products, and they're all amazing. Guys, we have a superfruit line, we have a sports line, we have a metabolic reset that at 9 o'clock, I'm specifically going on live to talk about our metabolic reset and a challenge we have going on right now. It's a 6-week program that incorporates this starter package. But I never want to overwhelm anybody. I want to talk about the starter package because over the years, this is what I have found. When people use these 7 products every day for 28 days, they come back every time saying, oh my gosh, I feel amazing. Oh my gosh, my pain is gone. Oh my gosh, my allergies, like I'm not sniffling anymore in the morning. I'm sleeping like a rock. My son's bowel issues are gone. My bowel issues are gone. See, there's 6 things that typically happen when people consume these 7 products. They sleep like a rock. This was my issue, insomnia. They have energy like crazy throughout the day with no need for stimulation, no need for naps. Also happened to me. Pain reduction, if not total resolution of pain. My people that are over 70, this is one of the first things they tell us is clear mind and pain reduction. 4, bowel habits improve. Bowel habits are a massive issue in this country, guys. I found in my doing this for 15 years that 7 out of 10 people have massive bowel issues, whether we're talking about ulcerative colitis, Crohn's, hemorrhoids, constipation, diverticulitis, irritable bowel syndrome, small bowel obstruction. I mean, there's so many issues. We don't walk around talking about it, but what if it could be greatly improved in 28 days? There's a 30-day satisfaction guarantee. What do you have to lose? Mood improves. You don't notice it. Everyone around you does. See, when my husband was struggling with the anger and the depression, I know that he really noticed it. I noticed it. And I will tell you, it was marriage saving. My boys are now 15 and 18. They've never seen their dad the way I did our first 10 years of marriage. That's changed the way my boys think about their father for the rest of their lives. Life-changing. Okay, and weight loss. I lost 32 pounds in 3 months without trying. My nephew started speaking the 3rd month. So a lot of times we see massive results in the 3rd and 4th month. But most people start with the starter package. They do their 30-day servicing, and then they go forward with their 2 to 3 things that they love and they can't imagine doing life without. Our super fruits, I recommend for anyone over 40 because you're really toxic, and anyone who's on a prescription medication, or maybe you're self-medicating with over-the-counter. You've got your Tums that you carry around, you've got your Advil PM, you've got your, over-the-counter Claritin now. Like, you can't go anywhere without these things. If that's you, you really need to look at the superfruits. Each of these have been used for thousands of years in the areas where they're grown: goji, acai, noni, mangosteen. They've been studied for over 3 decades here in the US, and ours are 100% pure. No juices added to them. They haven't been powdered down and rehydrated with who knows what. This is 100% superfruit, and you can tell when you take them. So if you're supplementing, and again, if you're educated, you're probably supplementing. If you're supplementing and you can't tell when you take your stuff and you can't tell when you don't, you have nothing to lose here. You should be able to tell when you take your vitamin supplementation nutrition. This is whole raw food, plant-based nutrition with a 30-day satisfaction guarantee. My children have been getting it in since they were toddlers. This is a hidden video taken last summer. And they're getting their plant-based calcium, no dairy, perfectly combined with magnesium and vitamin D. They're shooting back their superfruits. They're shooting back their vitamins. You can see him taking his Immune 6. That's an immune booster with selenium, vitamin D, vitamin C, huge for the pandemic was going on last year. And he's eating the Mila, which is our plant-based omega-3s, huge for brain function in the muffins right there. And they've been doing it since they were young. And so when people say, oh, I can't do it, oh, it's too hard. No, it's not too hard. You have to decide. My number one asset, this thing I cannot replace, is that important. And I want you to listen to the testimonies that we have coming on tonight, because these people are involved because they have seen changes in their own lives. We have a smoothie that we teach you how to consume. This is a big part of the metabolic reset. It's actually our snack. on the Metabolic Reset. We have training videos with lots of different people walking you through how they consume it, how they get it in their families' bodies. And you can go to purelifechangers.com to learn a lot more information, guys. We have the doctors educating on the products there. We have people talking about how the products have changed their lives. And we have our comp plan walking you through really just about everything you can imagine on that page as well. If you're watching on Changing Lives with Pure, use the search box, guys. Type in whatever ailments you're struggling with. And I'm not kidding. Type in migraines, insomnia, cholesterol, blood pressure, triglycerides, platelets, anxiety, depression. Type it in and watch the testimonies pop up. I've had this site for 4 years. There's over 10,000 people on here now with testimonies posted daily. Okay, if you're not on this site, ask whoever invited you to add you to the page. The reset, again, I'm going to be reviewing at 9. If you're looking to start the new year right and really cleanse, balance, and build your body with our core products, plus add on some metabolism boosters and some fat burners, look seriously at getting on our Metabolic Reset Challenge. It's actually starting January 9th. Registration is open January 1st through 9th with cash prizes of over $2,000, a spa treatment for a couple that is entering the contest together, and then a luxury overnight getaway for the team of 4. So we have a team of 4, a team of 2, and then individual you can enter as well. We have lots of information on purelifechangers.com under the Reset tab. So before I bring my guest speakers on, I want to tell you, I started with this understanding when my nephew began speaking, the sheer power that I had my hands on. And I was used to impacting the people that I saw on a regular basis. I saw patients for a living, guys, 50 to 70 patients a day. I tried to be a light. I tried to give hope. I tried to be the best healthcare provider I could, but I could only impact the lives of the people who came in and saw me. And then something happened to me with Miss Betty. I tell Miss Betty about Pure. She gets started with the Core Complete. She's in her 70s. She can barely get to her mailbox every day because she's in so much pain and she's so tired. Within 2 weeks, she's walking the block, meeting the neighbors, talking to the neighbors, calling me saying, oh my gosh, Rachel, Frank next door wants the products. He's struggling with knee pain. And Mrs. Smith, I haven't seen her in years. She wants to get started on the products. So Betty goes from being a customer, buying the Core Complete, to a brand partner. Betty calls me 2 weeks later and says, oh my gosh, Frank's knee pain is gone. Mrs. Smith can remember her children's names for the first time in years. And I've gotten 2 checks 2 weeks in a row. He says, Rachel, I'm on a fixed income. Like, I'm getting checks. How is this possible? This is amazing. So the check part for Betty was awesome. For me, I had impacted lives of Frank and Mrs. Smith, and I didn't even know them. Didn't even have a conversation with them. Betty had just asked them to watch a video. You guys, that was when the lights went off for me. See, I know how sick and hurting people are. I know how much people are financially struggling. We don't walk around with signs that say I put $5,000 on my credit card this December for the 5th year in a row, and it's going to take me months to pay it off. We don't tell people that stuff, or I have a child that, is struggling with depression and I don't know what to do. We don't talk about it. So we don't know who this is for. We just invite everybody to look. If it's not for you, it's not for you. Cool. But if it is for you, I'm going to tell you, remember what I said about Amazon? I believe that's what we have here with Pure. The future is buying things online. You've watched your favorite retail stores go out of business. Health and wellness is not going anywhere. You've just found a better way to help people. This is the best business you can get started in. So if you want to just order products, you guys can go to livepure.com, and you can throw whatever you want into the package, okay? Reset Plus, Family Pack. I'll talk about all of those here in just a minute. And then you just go check out as a preferred customer. Okay. So when it asks you, do you want to be a preferred customer? Yes. Give them your email address and you get the 25% off as a preferred customer with no obligation to purchase again. I highly recommend signing up for our Smart Ship because that is what makes our products more affordable. 93% chance that you will repurchase. Okay. At least 1 or 2 products, might as well get them. You get free reward points when you purchase on our Smart Ship program. So it's an amazing, amazing program. Let me introduce Dr. Alex, you guys. She is a pediatrician in Jacksonville, Florida, has been in private practice for over 20 years. And my friend, Dr. Penny Weeks, is a dentist and is a good friend of Dr. Alex's and shared it with her. And I'm so excited about you sharing tonight, doctor. So I'm going to ask you to unmute and then please just share with everyone why you're here, why you think Pure is great, and why are you sharing it?
So I'm really excited to come here tonight and share my personal story. I had always considered myself a healthy person. I always ate right. I exercised. And I was a healthy weight up until a few years ago. And a few years ago, I started having difficulty sleeping for the first time. and I started gaining weight. I was waking up every 1 to 2 hours, and there are two hormones that regulate our weight and our hunger. They're called ghrelin and leptin. And when you don't sleep, those get out of whack and you start gaining weight. And I actually gained 15 pounds in a year. And I tried my hardest to lose that weight. I tried everything. I counted every calorie. I got a personal trainer. I tried every diet out there. It was super frustrating and it wouldn't budge. And I'm sure that story sounds really familiar to a lot of you guys. Um, especially frustrating, let me tell you, when you're a doctor and you're supposed to know how to solve that problem. And I couldn't. So I went to my primary care doctor and she said, "You're not sleeping because you are too stressed. You have too much stress in your life. And I want you to take the sleep medication." Well, the last thing I wanted was to take any medication, but I was desperate. I really needed sleep and I was trying to be a good patient. Doctors are the worst patients, by the way. But I was trying to listen and I started the medication and she was right. She was right. It actually did help improve my sleep. And she was also right about the stress. It was the middle of the COVID pandemic. I was working 6 days a week in my busy medical practice. I had two teenagers, and my mom had just been diagnosed with cancer. So the stress was definitely there. When I went to follow up with my primary care doctor about 3 months later, I had high blood pressure and I had gained another 5 or 10 pounds. Those are all side effects of the medicine she put me on, by the way. And she offered me 3 new prescriptions, blood pressure medication, a potassium supplement, and she offered me a weight loss medication that could cause pancreatitis. For those of you who don't know what pancreatitis is, it's a serious inflammation of the pancreas that can lead to hospitalization. And I said, nope, I don't think so. No, thank you. At that point, I didn't blame my doctor. I think she was really trying to help me. She just didn't have the education. She didn't have the knowledge to help me. She had a high education, medical school, but medical school does not teach us about nutrition. It does not teach us about supplements. Everything I've learned about nutrition, I've had to learn on my own. At that point, I started on my own health journey, as many of you have. My husband and I embarked upon a whole food plant-based diet. I obtained a certification in plant-based nutrition from Cornell University. And a few months ago, I found Pure. And I started the 7-day Pure Metabolic Reset program. And guess what? I started losing weight. It was amazing. And I then started the core products from Pure. And within a few weeks, I started sleeping through the night. It was a total game changer, let me tell you. I have had benefits head to toe. My skin, hair, and nails are stronger. My brain fog went away. My gut has been the healthiest it's been in years. And my mood has definitely improved. Total game changer. I want to mention that recently I started my parents on Pure smoothies. They're in their 80s. For those of you who haven't seen them in a while, they're doing amazing. They walk every day. Their minds are sharp. And just an update on my mom. She's been cancer-free for over 3 years now. We feel so blessed. And, you might be wondering, why is Dr. Coster recommending Pure supplements? It's because they work. And I love their philosophy, the cleanse, balance, and build philosophy that Rachel spoke of. It just really speaks to me. It is based on whole food nutrition. And, Hippocrates said, "Let food be thy medicine and let medicine be thy food." And that is Pure's exact philosophy. So I just wanted to say, if you're on the fence, if you want to change your health, if you want to change the health of your friends and family, if you want to change the health of your patients, recommend a whole food diet and consider recommending Pure. It works and you won't be sorry. If you are looking for a lucrative business opportunity, if you want to work less, if you want to travel, if you want to change people's lives, consider becoming a brand partner with Pure.
Thank you so much, Doctor, for joining us tonight. I know that spoke volumes to so many people. And what is this whole brand partner thing now? I'm interested in that. So I say, if you're concerned about the income, if you're concerned about your health, if you want to help other people, if you're concerned about your finances, consider being a brand partner. It's $49 to get started. See, this is what made me think it wasn't real. How can a real business only cost $49? Truly, it costs $49 to get started. And I got started as a brand partner with no intention of telling anybody. And then I just began to make one phone call a day on the way to work. Hey, Patricia, I found something amazing. I don't know if it's for you or not, but I think it's great. If I send you a video, if I invite you to a webinar that's at noon today, will you watch it? And sometimes they would watch it and many times they wouldn't. And I didn't get emotionally affected by it. I just would call somebody every day because I felt morally obligated to share it. Quite frankly, I didn't really believe you could make money. And then the checks started coming in regularly. My husband's like, what are these checks? I'm like, I don't know, it must be from that Pure business. And then they met and matched what I made with my skincare store. One phone call a day versus 4 hours a day. Then they surpassed what I made, closed my skincare store down, took a loss on that, and decided to spend 2 to 3 hours a day on this. And then the checks began to meet and surpass what I made as a PA. Now they are 5 times what I made as a PA. Whether I do this or not, I don't know what's going to happen for you, but I know that weekly checks are very possible for you. And what I found for many people is they began to share it, and what happened to Miss Betty happens for you. Miss Betty begins to tell people, and she becomes a brand partner. And before I knew it, I had brand partners in Washington State, in Arizona, in California, in places I'd never been before. And really, with their compensation plan that this company offers, if you have 2 teams of people, 2 people you find who begin to plug into me, and the training that we give them in our VIP program really gives mentoring and training. Dr. Alex and Josh are both a part of that. Then they are working and building this business while you're doing your daytime job, and you're getting checks from everybody they tell and everything they do. Okay. And so it's really, really powerful what's possible here. It's $49 to enroll. That is waived if you are military or a student, or you choose one of our business packages. The monthly overhead is 3 to 4 products a month. It's about $140 a month. You should be spending that on your body right now. You should. It's your most important asset. But if you can't afford that, our first goal is to make it so that you're making $140 a month. But also Miss Betty, who's your customer, or Aunt Susie, their orders count for your 3 to 4 products you need to order a month for you to get weekly checks. And then we go place your first order, and you can start wherever you want, guys. But I highly recommend the family pack. Family pack is like, if you have a family of 4, it's a servicing for all 4 family members, not just one. I would not be here if I just started with just me, because I started sleeping, and yes, I lost weight, but it wasn't until the 3rd month. I'm here because of the results I saw in my family members, the one I love. And the reason I saw results in them is because I had enough to go, here, take it. All right. Let me tell you the other benefits of this family package. It also will give you our 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week of training. And then you also get into my VIP program, which is a special mentoring and coaching program with weekly calls, leadership retreats. Our last one was to Costa Rica. The next one is to Bison View Lodge in Helen, Georgia. And you can't go on those trips if you're not a VIP. And so this is my favorite pack, hands down. The Reset Plus package is a great business package as well. It's $14.99, but you won't get my VIP training. So creating an additional income is really important to you. Squeeze out that extra $800, guys, and grab that VIP family package or the Ultimate Reset package. Just so you know, the Reset Plus is enough for 2 people to do our 6-week metabolic reset program. It's just under $15 per day per person. You can start wherever you want, though. You can do the $49 business and get the Core Plus, which is less than $10 a day for you to service your body. Your body is worth that. 30-day satisfaction guarantees. You can start wherever you want to. So livepure.com, guys. Throw into the cart whatever you want. The family package, it's got the colloidal silver, it's got the vegan shakes, it's got all the stuff. Take a serious look at that one. If you like to travel for free, as Dr. Alex mentioned, earlier this year, I helped over 50 people earn this trip to Sorrento, Italy. I have a goal to help over 200 people take the trip with us to Greece in September. It is going to be very, very powerful time. And there's no cap to what you can earn here. You might start with 30 minutes a day and start getting checks and go, what if I do an hour a day? Exactly. So I can promise you, if you don't change, though, nothing will change.